Food for Thought with Professor David Ndete.
Welcome once again to another episode of Food for Thought with Professor Ndete. This is where we have discussions on mental health issues. Now, last episode, we began a series talking about violence in our schools and just trying to understand some of the different things that may be happening that may be causing this. We didn't finish the conversation. In fact, we had just begun, so we go back from where we left off last week. I was just wondering, Professor, thinking about cases of bullying. Mm-hmm. What goes on in the mind of a bully? Why would a person want to bully another person?
To start with, the statistics that we have here, and likely we got some statistics. Mm-hmm. Bullying is very common in the Kenyan schools, and that time we studied about half of high schools in Nairobi. Okay. Which was a very big sample, by all means. And we found rates of bullying ranging from 5%, sometimes up to 40% in parallel schools. Mm-hmm. In other words, in some schools, the bullying was more common than other schools. Mm-hmm. So it's very common. Mm. Now, the interesting thing is that when we were planning to do this study, of course, we went to the schools and we talked to the teachers to allow us to do this kind of study. Some of them told us, please don't waste your time. That problem does not exist in this school. Mm-hmm. Other schools just welcome, come, we would like to know. Yeah. And the school that was very, very positive in welcoming us, come and find out what is happening. We would like to know. Mm-hmm. And I can see, can review the name because it's very positive. Mm. It was Starry Boys. Mm-hmm. That time, and Griffins. We didn't find any bullying at all. Wow. Which was very, very, Starry the way it was. But it was one school where we did not find bullying at all. Mm-hmm. In some of the schools, which were maybe administered by missions, mm-hmm. We found very high levels of bullying. Mm. It's more common in boys than in girls. In other words, boys tend to bully more than girls. And I think this is an expression of maybe power balance. Mm-hmm. And the older boys tend to bully the young boys. Ones, yeah. This is why in schools you would find that Form 2s are the biggest bullies. Yes. And once you get to Form 3, Form 4, it changes because they are busy doing other things. Mm. Yeah. Mm. But the boys in Form 2, they were just bullied the other day. Yes. Yeah. And now they want to. They are trying to give back. So you find that actually it's more in Form 2s, but reducing when you get Form 3, you get Form 4. Mm-hmm. Children are busy doing many other things. Yeah. So that's basically what we found. We found there were very many ways of bullying. One of them is the commonest of them was using abusive language. Mm-hmm. Boys calling the boys, the young children, using them, address them in a very aggressive manner. Mm-hmm. Forcing them to do things for them, like washing clothes for them, and doing all kinds of things for them, serving them, and sometimes just being naughty to them. That's a kind of bullying that we found, particularly in boys, where they want to exert kind of authority over the other boys. Yeah. In girls, it's very subtle. Mm-hmm. It's not like they want to use abusive language or force them to do other things, but it's kind of emotional neglect. You just ignore them. They are not welcome. They just feel that they are completely isolated. Very subtle, but still very hurtful. Okay. And the question is, why do they do these things? I think it's part of a culture. That boys should be able to engage with other boys take good care that there's one school, and I'm not going to mention it now, where I think we are very close to Starehe, in the sense that when children go there, the people who take care of them are the Form 2s.
Ooh.
Yeah, are the Form 2s. They take good care of them, make sure that they are okay, and there is a school rule. If we catch you
Yes.
bullying, then you are out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they understand that. So it's a question of discipline and making the children understand that bullying is not at all acceptable, and at the same time put in a mechanism of what constitutes bullying, and you tell the children that if anybody did this to you, that amounts to bullying.
Yeah.
Find a way. These are the ways for you to report to the teacher or somebody else in confidence. So the bullies, the one who want to bully, they know that if they did that, then they will be reported.
There's a price to pay.
So it's a question of school policy.
Okay.
To understand that bullying is very common, that there is need to address the issue of bullying. The different forms of bullying is like you take them through a list of types of bullying, so that everybody is aware that if a schoolmate or a classmate or somebody who is ahead of me in the class treats me like this, then that amounts to bullying.
Yeah.
It's just like, which has worked very well in institutions, behaving like this in an office or in a public institution amounts to sexual harassment, and everybody knows. Okay. Yeah. Like in this, like this organization which I run, we have a code of what constitutes sexual harassment. Yeah. And everybody knows, and they can't go beyond that because they know if it happens, it happens, and these are the consequences. I think if we were able to take that kind of approach in schools, where it is very open, we talk about it very openly, we acknowledge the fact that it could be there, then I think we will be able to manage bullying in schools. The reason why it's important to eliminate bullying in schools, the bully, one who bullies may have a personality problem, which is not identified, but now we are beginning to understand that the bully may actually have a problem. Yeah. And instead of just blaming him outright, maybe they need some help. They need some help. Yeah. And the children who are bullied, depending on the level of intensity of that bullying, it can have long-term consequences on that child. So we, for the sake of long-term mental health of particular children or a child in a school, we cannot ignore the fact that there is bullying in schools. Okay. Yes, because we are trying to protect the mental health of that particular child. Even if it's one child or two children, it's important for that child. It is. So I think the viewers should know that we have this problem, is a big problem, and we need to address it more compressed and no denial by schools.
For a parent, what would you advise them to do if they come to the knowledge that their son or their daughter is a bully, considering the fact that you have said maybe this young man or this young woman needs help? So how do you handle them?
First of all, it's very painful for the parents to know that their child is a bully. And of course, the immediate reaction for most of them is violence.
Takunyorosha.
I think there was something that was running in the social media, I think it was last year, of a father who really whipped his daughter. I don't know whether you remember it. Because the daughter was allegedly trying to incite other students in the school to burn a school, to burn down the school or something like that. I think the most immediate reaction is to konyorosha. But you cannot nyorosha out, as it were, a personality issue. Does your child have a personality too? There are people who are by their nature they are very aggressive. There are things we call conducting disorders. It's a disorder of the way this person behaves. It's not their fault. So when you see if you have a child who is a bully, find a way of trying to understand why your child is doing that. Because by taking very aggressive behavior approach, it's like you are punishing somebody who is unwell, and the child does not quite understand why they are behaving the way they are behaving. Maybe they don't like what they are doing, but they somehow find themselves doing it. And a child who is a bully, instead of getting help, they don't get the help, and in the process they may develop consequences, psychological consequences, because they are being beaten or smacked or whatever you want to call it. They don't understand why they are doing whatever they are doing, and they think the parents are cruel. So it's always important to understand the behavior of these children. So taking disciplinary action is not always the solution. Trying to understand what is going on with the children.
Okay. Unfortunately, all good things need to come to an end. We are out of time for Food for Thought with Professor Ndetei. Thank you so much for tuning in. Give us your feedback on our SMS line to 0316 or our WhatsApp number 0786 316 316. We'll pick up this conversation again on the next episode. Have a great day.
Food for Thought with Professor David Ndetei.
Thank you for watching. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get notified whenever we upload new fresh content every day. Stay tuned and enjoy fresh, uplifting content.